Hello, Chosen One. Welcome to this special moment. Today, I want to talk to you, who are one of the chosen, about a final test that challenges our faith. This challenge is a unique opportunity for transformation and deep spiritual growth. Let's explore together each teaching that this test truly brings. Often, we feel that we are stuck in patterns that prevent us from moving forward. These obstacles are not punishments, but rather lessons that prepare you, Chosen One, for greater challenges. Each difficulty hides a valuable lesson that strengthens your journey of faith and determination. Believe, for your path is filled with blessings. You may feel that some doors remain closed, making progress impossible. But as a chosen one, these moments are invitations to develop an even stronger faith. Each blockage is a chance to grow, learn, and discover the inner strength that resides in you. Feel this transformation guided by true love. Each test you face is a gift from God, sent to reveal your potential. He transforms doubts into courage and weaknesses into strength. As a chosen one, understanding this truth is essential to breaking the barriers that delay your spiritual progress. Trust, move forward, and allow the light to guide you. On this path, you will discover that faith is the key to transforming challenges into opportunities. Each obstacle becomes lighter when faced with courage and wisdom. The final test is, in fact, a door to a new chapter in your story. Allow your journey to flourish with eternal love always. By accepting this challenge, you become part of a special group that God has chosen. The chosen ones face greater tests to emerge even stronger. Your faith will be refined and your life transformed, paving the way for blessings that once seemed impossible. Love, trust, and celebrate each small victory daily. This final test is an invitation to look beyond the obstacles. It awakens your potential and illuminates the path of the chosen ones toward greater horizons. With each step, faith grows, and your mission becomes clearer and more meaningful throughout the journey. Follow your inner light. Dear friend, you are at the beginning of a transformative journey. By overcoming this final test, you will open doors to a future filled with opportunities. Allow each challenge to strengthen your faith and illuminate your path. If you enjoyed this video, follow our channel for more inspiration. Share your faith with us today. You are going through a challenge that goes beyond everyday problems. This test appears in difficult moments and has a special purpose for those who are chosen. It arises to show that difficulties can be opportunities to grow and awaken the potential that God has placed in you. When peace begins to fade, you notice small changes. Perhaps happy moments turn into silent tensions. The presence of restlessness in the environment may indicate that the relationship is moving away from the path that God has prepared for you. This experience awakens a feeling that something is not as it should be. Feeling anxiety or stress around someone very special can be an important sign. You may notice that the tranquility that once marked this bond gives way to constant worry. The heart may beat faster and the mind fill with doubts, signaling the absence of the comfort that once surrounded you. Frequent arguments and conflicts seem to replace moments of joy alongside this person. The energy that flowed smoothly becomes heavy, laden with unnecessary tensions. This emotional weariness affects the way you live day to day, awakening a feeling that the environment no longer provides the rest that the soul needs. The feeling of always being on alert can be very exhausting. When every word and gesture ends up triggering a fear of confrontation, you realize that your inner peace is compromised. This constant sense of insecurity may be a sign that the relationship does not align with the greater plans that God desires for you. The breaking of this peace is a call to look closely at your feelings. You may ask yourself if what once brought comfort is still contributing to your growth. The change in the emotional climate serves as a warning to reassess the importance of the bond in building your purpose and well-being. Divine wisdom also manifests through sacred words. As Philippians 4:7 reminds us, "The peace of God transcends all understanding and guards hearts and minds when we live in harmony with Christ." This teaching reinforces the idea that the presence of peace should be felt by those who walk the path of the chosen ones. This internal transformation, where peace dissolves, leaves a void that cries out for attention. The silence of the heart speaks loudly, revealing that something essential has been lost. This change may be God's way of showing that the relationship no longer fits the divine mission you are destined to fulfill. Upon realizing that peace has been broken, an opportunity for deep reflection arises. Each feeling of anxiety or discomfort is an invitation to investigate whether the bond brings you more challenges or learning. This moment of introspection allows you to reconnect with what is truly meaningful in your spiritual journey. Listen to the call of your heart and trust the intuition that God has granted you. Allow yourself to recognize the signs and embrace the need to restore harmony in your life. The absence of peace should be seen as a warning to take care of your emotional and spiritual health, guiding your steps toward true tranquility. Relationships that come from God propel us to grow. They collaborate with our dreams, teachings, and our faith. But imagine if someone starts to divert your attention from the things that really matter. This influence can distance you from divine plans, harming your connection with your essence and purpose. Pay close attention to this diversion. When a distracting person enters your life, the search for God loses intensity. The shine of your faith may become dulled in the face of routine and altered priorities. The feeling that something important is being left behind becomes stronger. This subtle change can go unnoticed without sincere reflection. Noticing that your daily activities no longer reflect the desire to live what God wants is essential. It may seem that life has lost its balance, and energies are dispersed in various directions. You may feel lost, unsure of how to return to the path that once guided you securely. The influence of this relationship diverts your focus from the purposes that God has established. The message of Hebrews 12:1 suggests the need to eliminate what hinders us in order to run the race that has been proposed to us. This analogy reveals how life transforms when bonds distance from the divine and the greater mission. You may wonder when you stopped prioritizing your time with God, becoming accustomed to living under the influence of others. Upon noticing this change, it is important to turn back to the essence that lights your path. Rediscovering this inner feeling is vital to reclaiming the direction that makes you who you are. The influence of someone who distracts your focus may manifest slowly. The connection with prayer and meditation may weaken, and the enthusiasm for the word becomes diminished. These moments of disconnection serve as a warning for you to reevaluate the relationships that have established themselves in your life. The awareness of this diversion is a call to reflect and act. If a person prevents you from accessing experiences that strengthen your faith, it may be time to reconsider this partnership. You have the power to choose who to remain with, for God wants you to stay firm in what best provides the true meaning of living. Feeling the diversion from your spiritual focus may be a sign that something is not aligned with your destiny. By distancing yourself from relationships that divert your energies, you will have the chance to reclaim a lighter and more vibrant path. This new direction allows your life to reflect the purpose that God has reserved for the chosen ones. If the changes in your priorities are distancing you from your essence, it is time to rediscover what truly matters. see with your heart and mind the changes that impact your spiritual growth. If you recognize this influence, seek to reconnect with the divine strength and regain your focus. Did you identify with this reflection? Subscribe to the channel and like the video to continue learning more about the calling of the chosen ones. Trust is the foundation of every genuine relationship. Without it, the bond weakens and the connection is lost. In the words of Proverbs 25:19, trusting in an unfaithful person in times of adversity is like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint. This message reminds us of the importance of loyalty in relationships. When trust is continuously violated, pain settles in silently. You may have forgiven wholeheartedly in the hope of change, but the wounds remain. Each lie and betrayal reiterates a pattern that deeply hurts, affecting not only the lived bond, but also your self-confidence and well-being. The repetition of broken promises leaves marks that time hardly erases. The feeling of insecurity becomes constant, and the environment of mystery and secrets ends up poisoning the relationship. You begin to wonder if you deserve stability or if you are doomed to live in uncertainty. Reflecting on your experience of trust can be painful, but it is essential. Ask yourself, how many times have you insisted on giving another chance? Each cycle of disappointment indicates a pattern that hinders your growth. This question can offer a new perspective to rethink priorities and value mutual respect. Feeling like you are always walking on eggshells is a clear sign that something is not right. The constant fear of being deceived turns moments of intimacy into sources of anxiety. This environment of distrust and sadness does not allow for the flourishing of a healthy relationship, compromising your inner peace and your faith. The continuous breaking of trust brings not only disillusionment, but also emotional exhaustion. Living in a cycle of hurt can cause you to close yourself off from love and hope. This barrier prevents the shine of faith and overcoming from manifesting in your life, leaving a trail of insecurity and pain. Observing whether the person who should safeguard your trust does not turn into a pattern of betrayals is an important step in your spiritual journey. God guides us to relationships that strengthen the soul, and living with constant questioning wears down those who truly want to walk the path of faith and light. At this moment of reflection, do not blame yourself for feeling or seeking a healthier environment. Recognizing that trust has been repeatedly broken is a sign of maturity and self-awareness. Allow yourself to feel and value each lesson that this cycle can offer, aiming for a journey of peace and balance. Listening to your heart when it asks for respect is essential for building true relationships. If trust does not find reciprocity, it is time to distance yourself from what hinders your growth. Each step toward recognizing this reality is a personal victory, making room for relationships that truly honor your worth. If you identify with this journey of rediscovery and desire more reflections that strengthen faith, follow our channel. Like this video so that this message of trust and transformation reaches more hearts of the chosen ones. Our journey together can be the light that many hope to find. Healthy relationships bring us closer to God. When people who share our faith accompany us, we feel the divine touch and the renewing energy of prayer and Bible reading. These bonds strengthen us, bringing light and inspiration to follow the path that God has specially prepared for the chosen ones. You may notice a subtle change in your spiritual routine. The arrival of a new relationship can cause the intensity of your devotion to diminish. The desire to pray and study the scriptures weakens, leaving a void that is hard to ignore, and drawing you closer to habits that do not nourish the soul. You begin to feel that this person's presence interferes with your connection to the Creator. The time that was once dedicated to meditation and communion with God becomes scattered. This distancing may signal that the influence you receive no longer contributes to the inner growth that has always been so important in your journey. The transformation in your spiritual routine does not go unnoticed. Prayer used to illuminate your days. Now, it is overshadowed by fatigue and demotivation. This change affects your understanding of divine teachings, leading you to question the quality of the moments that have passed, which were once intense and full of meaning. The values that have always formed the foundation of your faith begin to fade. The influence of this person may induce behaviors that contrast with the precepts and principles you hold dear. Experiencing situations that do not reflect the true essence of sacred teachings generates internal conflicts, distancing your inner light even further. The practice of reading the Bible, which once nourished your soul, becomes met with indifference. This distancing from God's teachings can profoundly affect your ability to discern what is good and true in life. This separation impacts you emotionally, making even moments of prayer seem less significant. The verse from 1 Corinthians 15:33 emphasizes that bad company corrupts good morals. Thus, when a negative influence settles in, it can undermine the foundations that support your faith. This warning is practical and real for those who wish to maintain a trajectory of spiritual growth and evolution. Reflect on your relationships and what they have brought to your daily life. The company of people who carry you away from the divine can prevent you from feeling the comforting presence of God. It is important to have clarity and recognize when a relationship is no longer energizing your soul and strengthening your faith. Check if this relationship has taken time and energy that you once dedicated to your relationship with God. By identifying the signs of disconnection, you will be paving the way to rediscover your divine essence and true mission. Preserving your spiritual journey requires courage to make difficult choices. If a person distances you from the habits that sustain your faith, it is a sign that this relationship needs to be reconsidered. The chosen ones have the right to keep their light intact. If you identify with this message, subscribe to the channel and like the video to continue this journey of faith and growth. When God tries to show you that a relationship does not bring the good you deserve, He sends omens and signs of love. You may have received numerous warnings through your dreams, internal words, and even the circumstances that have arisen in your life. These signs are the divine voice calling your attention to a brighter path. You may have experienced intense dreams where a clear message formed in your mind. These dreams bring advice that seems to envelop your soul. When they repeat the idea that a change is necessary, feel that it is the presence of God guiding you, opening your heart to new alternatives and protecting the light that you carry. At various moments, a feeling of restlessness takes over when you get close to that person. This feeling does not come by chance. It is a warning from the divine source. The discomfort can be interpreted as God's invitation to distance yourself from what does not contribute to your inner peace and the evolution of your spirit. Life circumstances may unexpectedly reconfigure themselves, suggesting that it is time to follow a new direction. Sometimes, events forced by the context show that that relationship no longer has a place in the future that God has planned for you. Learn to recognize these moments with attention and to feel the divine protection in each sign received. You may have felt the internal resistance to wanting to stay in that relationship, even when everything indicates that the warnings are clear. This feeling of resistance may come from the fear of change or from attachment to old emotional habits. Remember that God always prepares a new horizon for hearts that open to the truth. The message of Isaiah 43:18-19 brings the power to leave the past behind, making room for what is new and blessed. This passage reminds us that what has gone is no longer valuable in the face of the wonders that are to come. When you hear the divine voice, it is time to accept that every end carries the beginning of something much better. Even knowing the signs, sometimes you may feel trapped between reason and emotions. Resisting seems difficult when there is a history built with deep feelings. However, it is essential to listen to the discernment that God offers you, allowing intuition to prevail and guide your steps toward a journey aligned with His purpose. On this journey, the act of resisting becomes a challenge to keep faith alive. Each time you hesitate, a new opportunity opens to reevaluate what truly strengthens you. Learn to value the advice received, allowing sincere divine care to become the compass that guides you through the paths of life. The resistance to change, even in the face of God's warnings, can be understood as a process of maturation. Each choice has its weight, and the courage to follow divine guidance shows that you are ready to open the doors to a new journey. This is the exact moment to recognize that nothing in the world is as precious as your inner peace. Each sign given by God comes with the intention of protecting your happiness and boosting your growth. When you assess the warnings you have already received, the opportunity arises to rethink what is essential for your spirit. With an open heart, you find the strength to accept that taking care of yourself is the first step toward transformation. Follow the path of those who allow themselves to be guided by the divine light. If you feel that the warnings are repeating and the signs are accumulating, allow God to lead you to a future full of hope and renewal. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Stay together on this journey of faith and love, chosen ones. Feeling that a relationship has turned into a constant burden is like carrying a load that has drained your energy. God invites us to rest and find relief, as Matthew 11:28-30 says. His promise is of rest for the weary and burdened, reminding us that the divine yoke is easy and the burden is light. When you find yourself emotionally exhausted, the relationship ends up consuming your strength. Each encounter awakens the feeling of wasting time and energy, leaving little disposition for yourself. This exhaustion is neither natural nor healthy, and your body and mind are asking for a breath that can only come from inner reconnection. Carrying all the weight of the relationship alone can become a draining routine. Feeling the responsibility to piece things together and fix conflicts without help generates isolation. The feeling of loneliness amidst companionship makes the burden even heavier, preventing you from enjoying the necessary support to move forward. The lack of balance between giving and receiving turns the relationship into a source of continuous weariness. When moments of lightness are replaced by tension, the environment becomes oppressive. The absence of reciprocity makes it difficult to find satisfaction in the other person's company, making the coexistence uninviting for your spirit. God desires to protect your heart and essence. When a relationship ceases to bring encouragement and begins to impose suffering, it is a warning sign to rethink the ties. The relationship, which was once a source of joy, now transforms into an obstacle to your well-being and personal growth. The divine message through Matthew reminds us that we should not carry burdens that were not meant for us. When you feel that the efforts to maintain harmony are not reciprocated, the feeling of overload intensifies. This experience reveals that someone or some situation is draining the light that God wants to shine in your life. Recognizing this burden is the first step toward transformation. When you realize that the relationship has become an obstacle to peace and spiritual energy, you must listen to the inner call to take care of yourself. Releasing what weighs you down is a courageous act that opens space for healing and renewal. By allowing yourself to let go of what brings suffering, you gain the freedom to reclaim your path. Change is not simple, but it is necessary for divine energy to flow fully in your life. Allow the message of rest and lightness to guide your decisions, making room for relationships that truly uplift. If you identify with this feeling of overload and wish to walk a lighter path, believe that God is by your side. Feel the courage to seek relationships that promote balance and peace. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and like the video to continue receiving guidance for a lighter and blessed life, chosen ones. Letting go is part of the plan. Dear ones, I know that letting someone go is not easy, but obeying the voice of God always brings peace and liberation. Many times we cling out of fear of change, hoping that everything will get better. But believe, God sees what we cannot see. When He asks us to let someone go, it is because He has something much better for us. Now, I ask you, are you ready to trust in God's plan and move forward? If this message touched your heart, write here in the comments, I trust in God's plan and I am ready to move on. God bless your life. Trust that He is preparing something much greater for you.